Today is a nightmare for the city of Chattanooga. Around 11 o'clock this morning, we had someone viciously attack at two different locations people who proudly serve our country. Over the last couple hours, I've spent a lot of time with individuals who work for the city of Chattanooga and for Hamilton County, who work at our medical facility at Erlanger, who proudly deserve our thanks and praise for the way that they responded. They were amazing in what they did, and we know of no active issues right now. We do know that we have 4 individuals who were killed who are victims. We know that the shooter was killed at the scene as well. Also, one Chattanooga police officer was shot in the ankle and has been treated very well at Erlanger, as well as there were some other individuals who were shot and have also been treated. I want to say again, it is incomprehensible to see what happened and the way that individuals who proudly serve our country were treated. 2 different locations this individual went to. As a city, we will respond to this with every available resource that we have. I have behind me individuals from the FBI, the ATF, Hamilton County, Chattanooga Police Department, the U.S. Attorney, every single resource that we can summon. This is, as I said, a nightmare for the city of Chattanooga, one to which we will respond. With that, I'll give...
So very quick, 4 people killed, including the shooter, or is that the 5th person?
That's a 5th person. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The mayor shared all the details of the incident and the investigation that we're prepared to share right now. I'd like to echo his apology for taking a while to get to you all. Our primary concern was the welfare of our community, checking on our officers, and making sure that we coordinated with our partners from the county, the state, and the federal government. What we do know is that somebody brutally and brazenly attacked members of our armed services, and that officers of the Chattanooga Police Department and the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office responded immediately, and they were able to make sure that no further loss of life happened. I'm extremely proud of them and the community of Chattanooga for making sure that we responded in a timely and a courageous manner. Thank you.
I'm Bill Killian, United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Tennessee. This is a sad day for the United States. These service members served their country with pride, and they have been the victims of these shootings. We are conducting this as an act of domestic terrorism. The FBI is now in charge of this investigation, and I will turn over when I get through to the special agent in charge, Ed Reinhold, to discuss with you what he can and what he will about this ongoing investigation. I have nothing but praise and admiration and congratulations to the City of Chattanooga Police Department, Hamilton County Sheriff's Department for their quick and effective and efficient response. We have a combined federal, state, and local investigation. We cannot and will not share facts of that investigation with you. At such time that we can admit certain facts or present certain facts and evidence to you, we will. That investigation will be a joint one with ATF coordinating, with FBI coordinating with ATF, Homeland Security, Tennessee's Department of Homeland Security, Chattanooga Police Department, and others. Again, we are treating this as an act of domestic terrorism. Ed?
Afternoon. Again, I want to echo the mayor and the chief's comments and the U.S. Attorney's comments, and that is that the response by The local law enforcement was overwhelming. They were able to neutralize the threat, and there is no longer a threat to the community that we're aware of. We will conduct a thorough investigation in concert with Chattanooga Police Department and our other partners to make sure that this matter is completely resolved. That's all I have, so I don't know if anybody else wants to speak. It's Ed Reinhold.
Who are you?
I'm the special agent in charge for the FBI.
And can either you or the chief further put some perspective on how the gunman ended up dead? Was it at his own hands or a member of law enforcement or just
At this point, I'm not going to discuss any of that. Again, we're at the preliminary stages of this investigation. We have active crime scenes that we're investigating right now. We have a significant amount of resources, both the FBI and Chattanooga Police Department and other agencies have dedicated significant resources. We expect probably by the end of the day we will have several hundred FBI resources on scene to conduct this
You
investigation.
can't tell us if he shot himself or someone shot him? That makes
At this point, again, we have not conducted a complete crime scene investigation. So
Do you
until
not know the answer to that question, though? Or do you just know?
I have a suspicion to the answer to that question. But again, I want to make sure the evidence confirms anything that we can say.
Are we currently at a threat level?
No higher threat level than we were before.
Can you confirm the two different locations?
I'm sorry.
Can you confirm the two different locations?
There were two separate locations.
Say where they were.
Both of them were military facilities, both Naval Reserve facilities here in Chattanooga.
Is there any kind of timeline for which shooting happened first?
We believe the one over on Lee Highway occurred first, and then, and I believe this is probably public record, Chattanooga PD began pursuit of the individual, and it ended at the second naval facility.
Where exactly were the Marines killed?
All of the victims that were killed were over at the Naval Reserve Center on, how do you say the name? Abacola Highway.
Were there victims who were wounded and not killed in the exchange?
Yes, there are some victims that are being treated at local hospitals.
What's their condition?
I believe a total of 3, including the police officer.
Is there any indication that this might be tied to the trial of Mr. Doggett that's going on here?
We have no indication that it's tied to anything at this point.
Do you know if the suspect is local from Chattanooga?
We believe he's probably from this area, or at least is residing in this area prior to the event.
Do you know where he's living? Was living in?
No, not at this point.
Does he have a military history background himself?
Not that we're aware of, but again, let me emphasize, this is a brand-new investigation. We have received a lot of information at this point that we're trying to process, so we want to make sure we get it right before we start releasing any type of information to the public.
Can you tell us anything about why you think it's domestic terrorism?
Yeah.
That's a strong statement to make this early.
No. We will treat this as a terrorism investigation until it can be determined that it was not.
What was the suspect armed with?
Numerous weapons, and I'm not going to go into details as to what those were.
Was he wearing body armor?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nothing bolt action, right? All semi-auto?
Again, I'm not going to discuss what he had on him at the time.
Can you speak more about those killed? Were they active duty? What branch of the military were they in?
Okay, because the families have not been notified, we're still in the process of processing the scene. I'm not going to release any particulars about the victims at this point.
Domestic terrorism, does that rule out any link to possible ISIS, maybe?
No. We are looking at every possible avenue, whether it was terrorism, whether it was domestic, international, or whether it was a simple criminal act. We're looking at that.
Do you believe the shooter has accomplices in Chattanooga? Are you?
Again, we are at the beginning of this investigation. We have not ruled out any possibilities at this point.
How should we follow up? How can we get more info when you're ready to say?
You can contact the public affairs officer at our Knoxville office, or you can contact our headquarters in Washington, D.C.
Sir, just to make it clear, you have not determined then it's an act of domestic terrorism.
Correct.
Looking
We
at
have
that
not
possibility.
determined whether it was an act of terrorism or whether it was a criminal act.
Do you know whether the shooter has a criminal record or not?
Again, I'm not going to discuss him at this point because we have active investigations, and I don't want to put any of my personnel or the Chattanooga PD's personnel in any type of at risk at this point.
Did the different
shooter die at Amnicola?
Pardon me?
Did the shooter die on Amnicola?
He did, yes.
How many rounds did he shoot?
We don't know yet.
What time did the two different incidents happen?
It started at probably around 10:45 and ended within 30 minutes.
Are there any other military installations or within the state or within this area that are also maybe on lockdown or on alert at this time?
We have notified the facilities, the other military facilities in the state of Tennessee or within the area. It was their decision whether or not they wanted to go into lockdown or not.
What's the difference between a terrorist investigation, or terrorism investigation, and a crime investigation?
The investigation itself, probably not a whole lot of difference. It's just a determination of the motivation.
So the motive determines whether it's terrorism or just crime.
Correct.
And what's the difference between the two?
A disgruntled employee, for example, and I'm just using that example because he did not work at the facilities, but a disgruntled employee would not be necessarily an act of terrorism. But if he's motivated by, say, ISIL or somebody else, then that would be an act of terrorism.
Have you determined any kind of motive or if he had any connection to any of the Marines that were killed?
We have not, no.
Did he have other targets in Chattanooga?
Not that we're aware of.
People still locked down in businesses. Is that lockdown lifted, or is it at the discretion of the business?
Chief?
We have officers from my jurisdiction, from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, and from neighboring jurisdictions, making sure everybody in this community, wherever they are, is safe. Those decisions are made with the business owners and the homeowners. The decisions are made for the specific conditions of that area. But we've sent units to every place that might need them, and we're prepared to respond to anybody who does.
So is it possible people could be staying the night at their place of business?
Absolutely, and if they need help, they should call 911, and Chattanooga Police Department is here to help them.
Sir, are the recruitment centers considered gun-free zones?
I don't know the answer to that. It's federal property. Typically, someone cannot bring a weapon into federal property unless they're authorized to do so.
What steps are going to happen now in the investigation? What steps are we taking?
Well, obviously, we're going to look at the shooter. We're going to do an intense look at him to see if what his connections are. We'll look at his friends, families, associates, anybody who is associated with him to determine the cause or the reason why he conducted this attack.
Will surveillance metadata from the NSA and other secret agencies spying on us be used to determine his use of his phone, his use of his computer, his searches, and other things like that?
I will say the FBI will use any and all means available to conduct a thorough investigation.
How old was the suspect?
Did he have the phone?
I don't know yet.
Did he have the phone?
I'm not going to discuss what he had with him at the time.
Was Chattanooga ever designated a no-fly zone today?
I believe there was a no-fly zone over the area of the crime scene.
Sole shooter? Any reason to believe others involved?
No, we believe it was a single shooter at this point. No reason to believe anybody else is involved at this time.
What was the time difference between when the first shooting started and the second one? Like, how quickly did it take him to get to the second?
It's about a 15-mile distance, so probably 5 minutes between the two shootings.
And he was in that convertible car?
He was in a vehicle, but I'm not going to describe it. You've probably already seen it, but
Was there any prior indication that there might be an attack today?
no, we had no intelligence indicating there would be any type of attack today.
The officer who was shot, was he responding to a shooting or was he ambushed? How did that
He was involved in the pursuit and engaged the individual at Amacola, the location there.
Is that the officer who was injured in the gunfire?
I believe it is, yes. Chief?
There were numerous Chattanooga and Hamilton County officers who responded. They arrived on the scene extremely quickly, and they actively and enthusiastically engaged this brazen criminal. And one of those officers was injured by gunfire from this criminal.
So you don't know if it's the same officer who pursued from the first location?
We are confirming that. There were several officers involved. They responded very, very quickly. This incident occurred very close to where you're standing right now, which shows the brazen nature of the act. And police officers came from around this community to make sure that everybody here is safe.
Let me say one more thing. Do not get caught up in labels. The FBI and the other agencies are going to investigate this case thoroughly. They will determine, after the facts are determined, whether it's an act of terrorism at all, whether it's a crime and what the nature of that crime is, or whether it's a combination of those. And I would encourage you to not put a label to the investigation at this point, whether it be international, domestic, or any other kind of terrorism, including criminal acts.
I got a question. The illegal federal spying system from the NSA is very good at forensic recreation of crimes and arrangements and plots. How was that system at all in play in trying to head this off, or was there any word on that the build up of this confrontation?
I will tell you that the FBI and the other agencies will utilize every resource and every personnel they have to thoroughly investigate that case, and they are doing that as we speak. They will continue to.
That the shooter was former military?
We don't have any information on that right now.
Are you
No
guys
comment.
heading to his home to see if he had anything there? Is there any type of investigation going on there right now?
The FBI and the other agencies are thoroughly investigating this case. They will use every mechanism, every procedure, and every available resource to do so.
All right, thank you all very much, and we'll update you when we have something new to report.
Thank you.